So Dr. Disrespect is finally done beefing with Twitch. If you haven't remembered this situation, it's been a pretty big one that's been unfolding for, I'm pretty sure this has been years now that this has been kind of unfolding, and when it all happened, it was a pretty major situation, right? Dr. Disrespect is one of the largest faces and names in gaming and streaming in general, and of course, he was having legal issues with Twitch after being randomly banned from the platform and everything that kind of unfolded over there. Well, it appears that Twitch and Dr. Disrespect's battle is finally over, as Dr. Disrespect posted on social media to let everybody know that everything going on with Twitch is finally coming to an end. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, obviously, we're going to be talking about Dr. Disrespect and the entire Twitch situation. If you haven't realized, over the last few years, kind of where streamers take their streams has been a pretty major thing. For instance, if a YouTuber switches over to Twitch and they gain a massive audience, that then basically will build up the ability for them to have long-term contracts. These have been basically, like, over the last few years, somewhat introduced into the online community. It wasn't something that back in 2015 was, like, happening very commonly or anything. So basically, if you're one of the large faces of Twitch, you're like a top 50 streamer or anything like that, you are now basically talking about the ability to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with a platform, and basically, it's almost like, it reminds me of athletes, man, like in the NBA, right? LeBron James signing a Supermax contract with the Lakers, or something like that, right? That's kind of what this whole thing kind of reminds me of here, and that's almost what happened with Dr. Disrespect, but not entirely. So back in 2020, Dr. Disrespect was randomly banned from Twitch, right? And it was a permanent ban too. It wasn't like one of these bans where you get like a 7-day suspension or something like that. And it's not like it's the end of the world, right? If you get a 3 or 5 day or something like that. But I mean, when they permanently kick you off the platform, that's a pretty big deal. And obviously Dr. Disrespect has earned a lot of his money and a lot of his fame and whatnot because of streaming. So that'd be like if tomorrow YouTube randomly banned me from the platform. I'd be pretty upset too, right? This is my main source of income, and this is what I use to support myself and my family and everything, so it would be a pretty big deal if something like that happened. And of course, that's how Dr. Disrespect felt, and they got into some sort of like legal action, basically a lawsuit. So Dr. Disrespect posted this, which says, "I have resolved my legal dispute with Twitch. No party admits to any wrongdoing. Signed, Dr. Disrespect." This got over 120,000 likes on Twitter, which just reminds you the magnitude of this situation and who we're talking about here, right? Dr. Disrespect is still extremely popular even after moving to YouTube, and it appears that with this entire thing that unfolded, Dr. Disrespect has no intentions of going back to Twitch either, saying, "In response to all your questions, the doc will not return to Twitch," which obviously answers the question that everybody had. I'm assuming that with this lawsuit and everything being settled, that Dr. Disrespect is probably just not allowed to go back to Twitch regardless if he wanted to or not. You gotta think, Twitch permanently banned him pretty much out of the blue all the way back in 2020. They then got into like this legal dispute with him. I wouldn't think that they'd want him back on the platform to begin with, and they've apparently confirmed this, as has Dr. Disrespect with this statement, so I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon here. So, quote, "A lot of people ask, do you know the reason?" he explained in a video posted at the time. "I do know the reason why now. I've known for months now, and I'll just say this right now, champs, there's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. The Twitch ban has really affected us," he added, "not just from a financial standpoint, but from a networking standpoint. From all the relationships we've built over the last 5 years in terms of Activision and EA, all the big sponsors, they have to question, why did you get banned? Whether it's obvious or not, the blacklisting, the shadow banning, it's happening. We've not heard much on the matter since then, but in a tweet posted earlier today, Beam wrote the words 'moving on' above a photo showing the statement that we just read." So basically, Dr. Disrespect is making the claim that he was basically being blackballed from the industry in a way after the Twitch ban. When you're a gaming streamer, Twitch is still the #1 premier place to stream, and a lot of massive people still use the platform, even though places like YouTube and Facebook Gaming have been signing some of these creators away. You have to think, probably 80% of the top streamers that you can think of are probably still streaming on Twitch. That's how much control that they have over this industry, over the video game streaming industry, that is. And when you're banned from the platform like that, I'm pretty sure the rules say that, like, the people who are streaming on Twitch cannot play with you on stream. So, like, in layman's terms, it's really hard for someone like Dr. Disrespect to continue growing and continue, like, using the industry to his advantage when he can't really even play with a lot of the top streamers or interact with them while they're on stream, because it could put their careers at risk too. Now, I'm not 100% if that's the rule. I'm pretty sure that's what happens, and that's like what Twitch says you can and can't do. So it would have been obviously very massive for him to be in a situation where he could not play with people and, you know, play with people who were actually important to the streaming community, because whether you know it or not, like collaborations, especially on streams, getting hosted and rated and just being in like a popular person's stream, that can really help grow your career. And I know how a lot of people are, oh, Optimus, it's not like Dr. Disrespect needs to grow his platform anymore. He's already done it, man. He's famous. Well, like he says, he's claiming that he's making a quarter of what he made during the height of his Twitch popularity after the ban and everything. I mean, no one's gonna be cool with just losing 75% of their revenue, right? Like, that's a pretty massive chunk. I mean, you lose 5 or 10%, you can come back from that. At least most people can. You can come back. You lose 3/4 of everything, and that, you know, really isn't good. That it's not game over, at least for someone like him, but it's still not a good situation to be in. It's not like, you know, you want to lose 75% of your revenue or your income, things like that. So, very interestingly, it says, no party admits to any wrongdoing. This leads me personally, and I'm of course not a lawyer, but this leads me to believe that this was settled out of court, right? Like, there wasn't some sort of judgment or anything like that in the lawsuit, but both parties just maybe realized that it wasn't in their best interest to keep fighting it out in court, and they decided to settle. I would assume that with a settlement like this, if this is what happened, that Dr. Disrespect kind of caught the bag, right? Now, of course, this is just speculation. We really don't know, but like the claim suggests, you know, Dr. Disrespect felt that he had very good legal grounds to sue. They thought that they had a completely valid and perfect reason to get this done in court. So with that, I would assume that maybe Twitch felt that they did have a case and probably settled or something like that. We don't know the full details, keep in mind. We don't know what actually unfolded with this, but that's just like my personal take on it, I would think, right? With neither side admitting to any wrongdoing, we'll never know who was actually right in court. We'll never know if Dr. Disrespect was pulling this out of his ass and just making things up, or if Twitch was really in the wrong and they were about to get embarrassed. But it's kind of crazy because I forgot this whole situation even happened until this tweet, until all of this broke the news again that, you know, Twitch and Dr. Disrespect were gonna finally be on good terms, at least not legally suing one another. But also, Dr. Disrespect has built a really decent audience on YouTube, right? Obviously, YouTube is still a very massive platform, and even though, you know, it's not usually thought of as like the #1 place to go for streaming or anything like that, in the last few years, YouTube has made a lot of very competitive moves in order to try and compete more with Twitch. One of these moves was having Dr. Disrespect join the platform pretty much exclusively after the Twitch ban, and even now that I'm looking at Dr. Disrespect's channel, I mean, he's still getting hundreds of thousands of views easily. In fact, he has almost 25,000 people watching live in the middle of the afternoon on a weekday. Still extremely impressive numbers, still pulling a very consistent crowd. It's not like this Twitch ban killed his career by any stretch of the imagination here. So in the future, I don't know exactly what to expect. I guess realistically, the only thing we can put our thumb down on is Dr. Disrespect will continue to stream on YouTube. Twitch will have lost one of its biggest all-time streamers permanently, and we still will never know the reason why that happened. That's what's kind of weird about this whole thing. We will never actually know what the reason behind all of this was. There was never like a public reason for why Dr. Disrespect got banned in the first place. There was never any sort of clarification on why Dr. Disrespect felt the need to sue. We're really never gonna know, you know? And that's what's crazy, because usually a high-profile situation like this, we end up figuring out eventually kind of what happened, but in this way, you know, all the strings are kind of tied up here, and we're never really gonna know what happened. So with all that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus, make sure to check out Shop Opti down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about Dr. Disrespect, and signing out.